one battle after another is the headline. It is a great film from a filmmaker's perspective that completely fucking misses the mark. Does not live up to the moment and left me on the second time I watched it, extraordinarily frustrated.
I saw myself in so many ways in that movie with DiCaprio and with the that type of specific generation and his pointless attempt to communicate with the new generation.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that is going on in my mind lately because I'm old, and I totally relate to DiCaprio in that sense.
Nice.
So I will say I'm a fan of Paul Thomas Anderson. I'm a big fan actually, and it kind of like was hard for me to understand it was a comedy, but once I embraced that concept, man, I had a blast. So I loved it.
That's awesome, and we'll get into it more in a few minutes. But changing links real quickly. This has been a very we're committing for our audience. We are committing to a much tighter episode this week, so we're going to move fast, or at least try to. This has been a very good creative week for me, and yesterday was like a landmark moment. I mentioned I'm working on a webcomic, The Legend of the Emerald Wizard, and it's hard right now because everything I'm working on at this moment is like the prep work to get to the point where I can build the comic strips, the actual strips. So there's a lot of extra.
I totally get you. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of extra prep work before I'm in the zone. And so I've been building panels, but I'm also building models in order to build the panels and that sort of thing. So yesterday I kind of finally hit that sweet spot where I'm in the last leg of this first strip. I'm in the end zone. And I was sitting down. I've been time blocking my schedule because I need to, because I don't have a day job.
That's so wise.
And I need to add some structure to my day right now. So I have like 2 hours set aside to work on the webcomic, and I lost those 2 hours. I lost the time as I was working on it. So I hit the flow state. It was really, really cool. And today I'm working on getting all the lettering done.
Because these like shenanigans are very important to the creative process, I think. When you say, okay, I'm going to take the time to work on this, you actually put a meet in the calendar for blocking that?
Yeah. Okay, so this is Procreate. Have you ever used it on iPad?
I work with I like to draw.
You're more physical mediums. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, and I'll say that, like, I'm a big digital artist, and I was drawing on the iPad back when, like, the little eraser head styluses. That's how I started. Drawing on the iPads, like, since the beginning of iPads. I've developed a pretty distinct style that I like. That I feel is uniquely me. So anyway, this is the model stack. So this is my new character model.
Man, you're so organized.
And this is what it looks like. These are the panels.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Right.
There's a knock on the door, and
that's a very interesting process that you have there. Do you have references with the background, for instance?
References, yes. I'll find some reference art, and then I'll just start drawing on top of that. And it's not always exactly the same. This is a great example. I don't have to reinvent a trailer. But this is what I like to do is I'll get the line art in, and then I'll start kind of like reimagine, like especially the landscape background. That is not exactly.
I want to get an iPad now.
Yeah. So like this is again like how I approached the scene. You know, I'll take I took
Cool. Yeah.
I grabbed the frame that I wanted to do. Then I put my dinosaur models in. I photographed a dinosaur and or like a dinosaur
Right. Right.
toy, and then literally just start drawing and painting on top of it. There can be arguments made like, is this real painting or I don't fucking care. This is my
It's
art,
a,
and
yeah.
this is
Yeah.
how
No.
yeah, and
That's fucking yeah.
yeah, it's how I can ideate and get the thing done and move on to the next thing. So
Yes.
very proud of how
Cool.
painted this whole thing is.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
Jaws.
the shark. That's the Jaws.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. With
Okay.
the dinosaur instead of what's the name of the guy? Oh, fucking good. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, this is one of my favorite stylistic ones. Yeah.
That's so cool.
I have no background or real experience or training in painting, and it was so cool
Right.
when I was doing these. And again, this is 10 years ago at this point when I did a piece like this. But
Oh shit, we're all
finding the texture, I'll get the line art in, and then I'll just let it
right.
evolve on its own. Oh, there's the shadow, and like and then put the highlight in there. So all of a sudden,
Mm,
like I can just it was really cool finding the depth of the image, that just came
yeah.
out of the painting process. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
Yeah, it does. And actually, when you're painting on, and I love that we're having this discussion and you're showing this process because it's so much like accessible.
mhm.
Because when you're painting in the real paper, you usually start with the shadows
Mhm.
and then move up to the light areas. But this is so much flexible because it allows you to experiment and find the concept
Yeah,
like when you're doing it.
this
So,
shit is what I would just get lost in, you know, finding like
oh, right,
like just random strokes, and all of a sudden I was able to put the shadows and the highlights in there and just pull out the
right,
relief.
right,
And it's like I didn't put it there, I just found it, and I just
right.
ended up bringing it out. It's a very fun process.
Mm.
That's what I'm working on, my friend. What
That's cool. That's cool.
that's my creative update. Oh, the only other thing is the music is progressing. I definitely set my sights way too high for like what I wanted to do musically over the next over a 2 month period. But as I kind of and the music, as you saw on the time block schedule, is at the very bottom of my day after I've done everything else. So it's like maybe I'll even get to it. But that being said, when I do get
Right.
to it, I'm working on the ukulele, and I'm just like my fingertips are hardening. And I just picked
That's a good sign.
yeah, I picked a random song. What was it? I don't even remember what it was called, but it had like the wildest chords in it. And I'm just like, no, I'm not going to say these chords are too hard. I'm going to figure it out. And I'm just like, it is literally the dexterity,
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
these really weird fucking shapes and then, and get it. So I'm making progress. It's been satisfying, man. It's been really satisfying. And like I said, yesterday hit, and then
Right,
it was
right.
actually again today earlier when I was working on the lettering for the comic. It's like, dude, the time just disappeared, and it's been a little while since that's happened, and it is fun. It is really like just to be completely out
Oh
of your
man, that's
head,
cool. Right,
out of life, and it's all you're
right.
doing is working on this project, whatever it is. That's everything. It's so good, dude.
I guess it's my turn to share
Yeah, yeah.
some
What are you
creative
working on, man?
process. Yeah, right, right. I'm working on an actual illustration, and I'm taking my time with it.
Nice.
And it's amazing how you share this process. I don't have a finished work like either, but I have like a process. Oh, this is fun because I actually was taking notes when I was watching the Anaconda movie with this.
Oh,
Yeah, I took notes, man. I take this shit seriously. So, well, before this, I found well, my father lives in Petorca. Petorca is a region of Chile, is kind of a desert, and they have a very cool legend. In fact, there's a sign from the government that says the devil loses his I don't know how you said it, like poncho.
Poncho, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the devil loses his poncho in Petorca. And that
Okay.
was like a signed by the government. There's a lot of legends around that poncho thing.
Okay.
And one of them resembles a stairs.
Okay.
And they call it the devil's stairs, right? So
Okay.
the legend goes that the devil went to the town of Hierro Viejo. Hierro Viejo is old iron. It was called that way because when this is like in the 18th century, when horses went right into Petorca, they go to Hierro Viejo to change the old iron of the horses.
Horseshoes, yeah, shoes, yep.
The devil went to Hierro Viejo and he fucked some ladies, I don't know, but he escaped. He put a charm or a spell or something, so the stairs are habitually like it resembles a stairs, but they're crooked. I went there like in a horse. I like horses. I'm a very like country guy. So I came across like a painting of a guy of Sweden. I think it's a Sweden guy. And I'm gonna share with you this painting that he has. It's not a devil, but it was a fawn, like that in the video in Hercules.
Sure.
With the flutes, and he was dancing around, and the goats follow him. It has like a lot of meanings, and it really spoke to me. Like this guy, his art, his illustration. This is just a post on Instagram. I follow a lot of arty accounts, so it's a very like expressionist piece, and
Yeah.
I always I thought, okay, this is a mistake. He has like two flutes, but it's actually a symbolic meta. Well, there's a lot of information about this particular painting, and it's not that big. So I said, okay, I wanna do my version of it, like in Hierro Viejo, like in my town.
Sure.
So I begin, and this is the process. It's far from finished. Maybe next week will be finished, but I begin with drawing first, drawing the little composition of the fawn. Like how can I make it more like devil ish?
Yeah.
I think this is something very important, even in filmmaking. That is composition. That was my next step. Like composition. In here is called zona aurea, of the zone that you need to put the elements in order to draw the attention and make storytelling.
Yeah.
Like the eyes goes there and then go there. Fury Road, Mad Max Fury Road. I'm sorry. Uses that all the time because it's so quick. Like the cuts are so quick that you have to have your eyes like in the center of the framing. If you see Transformer, the Michael Bay, and I know it's not a fair comparison, but if you watch that shit, it's like two garbage cans like fighting. But if you see Fury Road, it actually makes sense. It's because of composition, I think. So
dude,
I have it.
I will defend the original Transformers, the original for the first the first Michael Bay Transformers film. It's dude, if you enjoy giant robots fighting, it is a fun time.
I enjoy Megan Fox.
It gets worse. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Every movie after that is terrible.
Okay, yes.
And even the one, I was so excited. This is a complete tangent. I'll make it quick. Where they had the dinosaurs, the Dinobots. I was I remember being so hyped for that. It's like, come on, two of my favorite things: giant robots,
you love
dinosaurs.
Right.
and then it ended up being like
Right.
5 minutes worth of 5 minutes of like inside a terrible 3 hour film is like, what a huge massive disappointment. All you have to do is deliver the
Right.
Dinobots and I would have been happy.
I haven't watched any of the Transformers. Just
You've
like
never seen
it's
the
playing on
first?
TV. So the first one, yes.
Okay,
I
yeah.
I tried, and I think I watched it all, but I can remember. I can remember the plot of that movie. I know there was Bumblebee and John Turturro like delivering a shameful. After Barton Fink, I couldn't take that movie seriously. You know, it's like not my cup of tea.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. What's funny though is that Michael Bay's OG Transformers has a lot in common with One Battle After Another. But go ahead. Let's talk about a tease.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna pretend that you didn't say anything.
No, we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, yes.
So composition in the stairs of the devil, you have a tree
Yes.
there that is a very distinct crooked tree, and you have your main protagonist here. That I made some changes because I didn't want to just copy the reference, and I provided like more youthful devil, like a child teenager devil, and a more realistic goat. And this is interesting because of the shadows. The shadows actually were my main focus of I don't know, the expressionist part of what I went out to provide. So that shadow became a reference of where the moon should be. So
Okay, nice, yeah.
just grab a cup and I just drew the moon.
Yeah.
This is gonna be like a frame chalk
Charcoal.
carbon
Yeah, charcoal.
with this pencil
Put it
and a white pencil that I had to buy. But I'm still working on the composition of it because that's the setup. And the setup is more important than the actual detail.
First of all,
right?
exactly. We're on the same page there with both of our projects. Like the prep work
Yes.
that we've had to get put
Yes.
into actually doing the piece that we want to do is really insane. Although I find it completely hilarious. Like here I am doing my cartoon stick figures and that's super flat and just strictly black and white, and then boom, here you are like building like beautiful composition. So I feel appropriately
Oh, I watched your chat and I said, oh fuck, I have my shitty like sketch.
Yeah,
So I guess it's something in between, man.
So-
it's just a message that you want to deliver.
yeah. One thought that I had in your sketchbook. So I know your models for the demon, the fawn, the character.
Yeah.
He was more just like more literal stick figure. But there was something about how stretched out and elongated he was that was very scary in your sketches, and that didn't quite you didn't adapt that. So it's like I might encourage you to think about that. Like, what would like the Slender Man version of that character look like? Because I think that like it should be right. I feel like it needs to be this demonic evil presence, and I like you kind of you touched on it a little bit in your early sketches. So I think that would be that was exciting to me. That was very intriguing to me.
You know what? This is important. Why you should share your work in progress with a person that you can rely on to give you advices.
For sure.
You can have an open mind, and they can contribute to the final work.
You know,
like I'm hearing, and it makes sense. So I think that my interpretation of the Slender figure, I'm trying to emphasize the shadows, like a cast along shadow, and that will create maybe the sensation that I want to provide, the scary.
So here's another thought. along those lines. What is the goat supposed to represent?
El flautista is someone that plays the flute.
Okay.
And a lot of rats are
it's
following him.
It's the Pied Piper story, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one. In Hierro Viejo, in this town where my father lives, we have a lot of goats. It's actually floated by goats.
Oh, because a young goat is a kid. So that's
yes.
Gotcha. So here's the angle. Keep the character designs how you have them, and then put the twisted Slender Man version in the shadow. And then for the goat, the shadow would be the shadow of a young child.
Oh.
So you have those
this
parallels.
Is important. Take notes.
Yeah.
Kids.
I think that makes sense. You don't have to like it's weird to kind of like have a shadow that demonizes the demon figure, but like your current sketch, and I'm sure it's gonna shift a lot once you start rendering it out. But like it's very Disney-ish, like your current model of the Goat Man.
It's very Disney-ish. Yeah.
So, and it's like I want to see, like, I think it would be so. I think it's just very dramatic and cool to see a very evil demon shadow underneath it. But at the same time, if you use that logic, you would have to have the goat casting the shadow of innocence as well. You know.
Right. Some in the lines of the episode 1, like you remember the little Anakin and the cast the shadow.
Oh, exactly, exactly. Yeah.
Right, but it reversed. That's a very clever observation, man.
Yeah, so
I thank you for
it. Play with. Yeah, dude, I love what you're working on, and I love the imagination and the initiative you're taking on all of this. So kudos, brother. Yeah, what's interesting is you have the freedom to make that illustration as demonic as you want to. Versus Paul Thomas Anderson, what was the budget for One Battle After Another? Like $140 million?
Oh, I don't know.
What an example of the thing that you and I rail against all the time. Like a big, like studio interference. And being so milquetoast and vanilla that it doesn't offend anybody. Right? And so I have to say, the first time I watched that movie, this is my confession, I got very, very swirled and then was in and out of consciousness for like the back half of the movie. And I had a really good experience with it. So I came out of that first viewing, even like missing out on like details on the ending, you know, here and there, you know, I still enjoyed it. Because I think, like going into the movie, it's like, okay, it's Oscar bait. It's from an auteur director. It's almost 3 hours long, so it's gonna be dense and hard. And I had like this expectation that it was going to be a very difficult film to watch, and it is anything but. Like you said, it's almost it is very comedic.
Yes.
The second time I watched it, was like, okay, it's good. I get it. I understand what's going on. It's still an easy watch, which is great. Love that. And I was left feeling frustrated the second time I watched it. And I had the hardest time putting my finger on why. Because the directing is fantastic. The performances are fantastic.
And Benicio del Toro, that guy was,
he stole the movie. He's the best part for such a small part of the movie. He was the best part of the movie. And then of course,
John Penn.
the big car chase at the end.
Oh man,
which is beautiful, and it's so weird. I immediately felt like second time around I was like, this is like Hitchcockian in how it was done, and I haven't seen anybody use that reference, but it really felt like something Hitchcock would do, like a car chase Hitchcock would do, and it was I think to that on multiple levels that was absolutely brilliant. Even Lockjaw. One of the I remember the first time I watched it, the racial, sexual depravity of the movie spoke to me, like just as a premise. That I like that.
Yeah.
Again, my books, "Don't Be a Monster, Dick," is about a guy's penis who falls off and it falls off and turns into a
Right.
monster. I like that kind of shit. Last time we talked, I said I try not to watch YouTube videos or reviews or anything before we talk because I don't want to really
I haven't watched anything. Yeah, right.
I've been stewing on this for days because I've been so, like, the movie left me so frustrated and I was having a hard time figuring out why. And at first I thought it was like, well, it's all around a really good movie. So great movies aren't always all that fun to talk about. Certainly in comparison to bad movies. Like, we probably can go to town on Anaconda, like nobody's business.
Oh man, yeah.
But like,
that's
one battle after another is objectively a really good film. That was my first instinct, was like, oh, it's just too good to talk about. Like, there's nothing really to talk. It's a great film. Okay, that's it. Again, even that explanation was leaving me frustrated. And so I did start watching other reviews and opinions and critiques, and that did help me put my finger on it. I don't want to get to it first. I want to turn it over to you because you're the one who wanted to talk about this movie. So what were your thoughts on it?
Well, first, I didn't think you were going to listen to my recommendation, so I prepared myself to.
I had already
Anaconda. No, that's the first thing. But I'm hyped. Like I'm very grateful to have a discussion, a conversation about this great movie. I too have like two experiences watching it. Like the first one, I fell asleep because I was high and drunk. That's the truth. So I think I just watched the beginning, and the boner of Sean Penn took me off. Like, what the fuck is this? Because expectations. I was expecting. And this is maybe it's very stupid, but I love There Will Be Blood. It's one of my favorite westerns. The western is my favorite genre, and I think Paul Thomas Anderson made something like sublime, and I'm not using that word lightly. With There Will Be Blood. It's a great character study, and it's a great, like, dense and so intense. And all of that was like fucking broken with one barrel after another, and I was expecting some of that tone. So I guess I just said fuck it, and it really helped. Like the second time around, I watched it with a right-wing friend, a good friend from school. So. And this guy is not a right-wing like caricature. He's very smart and very deep, and we get each other. Even if I'm more like left-winged, I hate politics. And
fair.
Everyone that is a politician is just bullshit. Having said that, I can see myself with the revolution, and I can see myself into the perversion of the fascists. So it was great to have this friend. Like, I couldn't help but laugh at some points, and that sets the tone for the movie. That really helped. The car chase scene, it was some of the most realistic car chases that I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, even in the French Connection, or, well, it's a long shot, but Baby Driver. When you see Baby Driver, it's a great director, but this, like a flawed persecution, like chasing, was great, and I was hooked every minute of it. The relationship with DiCaprio and his daughter, and the things that she didn't want to listen to, but she still had to, her life was dependent on the lessons that she didn't want to take. Overall, it was a rich experience. Like, it made me think a lot and made me laugh a lot.
That's
when
interesting.
DiCaprio fell, when he was running away, like jumping in the roof, and he fucking fell off the roof. like a scene of
Yeah.
Spider-Man or Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Man, I think I lost it. I can even remember the last time that I laughed out loud on some scene,
Yeah.
and I was thankful for that. And for me too, a movie that touches so deep connection that I have in my life with the DiCaprio and his hypocritical, stand,
Mm-hmm.
and this other guy and the government. And I love the circle of power.
The
I love
Christmas
that shit.
adventures. Again,
The
I
Christmas
agree.
adventure.
Yeah, that was
I love that setup.
yes,
I
same.
love that setup. A movie that I really like is not really that good is No Way Out. And I really like the movie. No Way Out is Kevin Costner, like
Okay.
back in the 89 or something. The scene that I like most about that movie is the Secretary of State, that is Gene Hackman, having breakfast in the Capitol, like in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
And he was having breakfast, and there was other ministers that they want to pass a law. And that kind of power that touches so many people, I think is perverse. Like, I love watching those
Yeah.
things, like for a very voyeuristic type of things. That how many lives can we fuck up in one conversation?
Sure. Sure.
That's the frame, and the Christmas whatever. It was like the same sensation. It was great, man.
Yeah, yeah. That's the frustrating thing about it. The parts are all greater than the sum.
Right.
Which it should be the other way around. But in this case, you've got Benicio del Toro, tiny little part with this
Again, great.
standout performance. You've got the concept of the Christmas adventurers. Did you see Alex Garland's Civil War from 2 years ago or
Oh
something?
man, no, I didn't. I didn't. And a friend, I was talking with a friend. I invited him a beer in Santiago here. We went for a beer,
Yeah.
like in the Brooker sector. And I told him that I loved the One Barrel After Another, and he said the same thing. That have you watched the Civil War? Like, he didn't say anything else. He said just fucking watch it.
Yes.
If you like this, you're gonna love that.
You should watch it. And I kept thinking about, like, I started thinking about Civil War. First of all, I love Civil War. Civil War is truly a great movie, and you will like it. I like to compare films, and that was the one that just kind of kept surfacing that I kept thinking about. Civil War goes to great painstaking lengths to not be political, to not say this is the politics over here and this is the politics over there. In fact, they actually there's a moment where they show like the division of the country, like, and these weird alliances that like don't even objectively make sense in reality. Like Texas, I think it's like Texas and California are allied, and it's like in the real world you couldn't have two states on further sides of the spectrum, Texas and California.
What what year is this based on? Civil War. I'm thinking Civil War. I think of Lincoln.
No, like
mean,
it's a
I'm not
present
from
day. It's set in like
right.
5 years in the future, 10 years in the future. It's a present day
Oh, that's clever.
portrait, and it is it is very specifically this portrait of what a modern day civil war would look like in the United States, and it's told through the lens of photojournalists. So the point of the movie
Oh,
is, in my opinion, from the US perspective, it's one thing to hear about something happening in the Middle East on the news, and it's another thing to
right,
see this depiction of what our country looks like when it's torn apart by a civil war, and what the brutality and the
right,
senselessness of that war actually ends up becoming.
right.
So the parallel is like both movies, Civil War and One Battle After Another, did their damnedest not to get on a soapbox and to preach. Like they really
Yes.
obscure their politics. But in Civil War, it had a bigger point that it was trying to make, and like it's anti-war, right? And to show what those horrors of war on native soil, native U.S. soil, looks like. So it's
Who directed that movie?
Alex Garland, Ex Machina,
Let me go. Oh yeah, of course.
Annihilation.
Right. Yeah, that's the one. Annihilation.
He's
Those
written.
are great fucking movies.
He wrote 28.
He's a serious man.
He wrote the 28
He's a serious
years.
man.
The new 28 Years Later movies. He did Devs.
Oh, I was told that movie was great. Like even better than Danny Boyle.
The Bone Temple
28.
one. I haven't watched it yet. But yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. Finish your point.
Okay, so look, Civil War is a great comparative film because it has I think it has a bigger goal. I like movies that say something. And arguably I would say if you're going to spend $140 million on a movie, it should probably say something. But instead, One Battle After Another is kind of the equivalent, is like the Oscar bait equivalent of modern Marvel film. You know, I was thinking Quantum Mania just to really kick this movie in the balls. But
man, yeah,
it's like
that's a bullshit movie.
The reason I was so frustrated is that it's all caricatures, and aside from Benicio del Toro, I don't think we ever went deeper and really got anything substantive from any of these characters. So all we were presented throughout the entire movie are these caricatures. Like, dude, what was the point of the revolution? Why are we resisting? Like, what, like, it's just, we're just stating it and we're showing it, but we're not finding out the character reasons why. And that left me feeling very empty at the end of the day.
But I see that movie in another light. Reality is just a pale reflex of what you have inside. These characters are just mirrors, and you can feel identified on them. And doesn't matter what the revolution is. It's just and it's nonsensical when you have a mother saying like, you take care of that baby and fuck it, I'm gonna fight the fight.
Right.
That's bullshit. And Leo fucking calls it. And you can relate
and even, dude, to that point, I gotta get this out. Even Leo's character.
Yeah.
The movie at its core is about him being a parent to a daughter who is not truly his.
Right.
He's an explosives expert. He
a
partook
clueless one.
He partook in the revolution. He knows there is danger, and yet he fries his fucking brain. Like at the end, yes.
That's funny.
He shows up and he does what needs to be done. But he let
He's our hero.
But at no point in the years leading up to it was he a good father, because he was too wasted. My point is, like, it's not even Perfidia, the mother character. It's not just her. They're all objectively bad parents, except for Benicio del Toro. Benicio del Toro is the only good character.
No, that guy was a fucking saint. Yeah. It grounded, like, take a deep breath. He was even having a beer while he was organizing all that shit. And I think that's accomplishes so much, and it's funny, and I can see myself in that hypocrisy of Leonardo DiCaprio. Like it really caused me to see myself into Leonardo DiCaprio fucking frying his brain in marijuana, which I love, by the way. Go to the Lad podcast and see what the effects are. and I could really see the point of making those caricatures. They're not real person. They're just speaking or just mirrors, like I said. It's mirrors to the audience so you can relate. The one thing that I didn't like is Perpilia was the name of the mother. The letter that she wrote at the end, it was so condescending and it was so like again hypocritical in the same rules that the movie. It's easy to shit on someone else's work, but it didn't spoke to me. I could live without it.
At the end of the day, I really feel like it is as a corporate studio vanilla film that Paul Thomas Anderson probably will ever make.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
My feeling is that if you are going to make a movie about revolutionaries, if you're going to tackle the subject matter of racism and fascism and, calling out what we are actively living through right now, various degrees depending on where in the world you are, but in the US, this movie was very prescient and it did not meet the moment, and that's my problem with it. He had a mandate to not offend anybody, and I think based on what I have seen, the book that it is based on did not go in that direction. The book was aggressive. Because when you are dealing with this subject matter, you have to be aggressive. You have to meet the moment. You have an obligation to meet that moment. And
the responsibility of it,
Thank you. Yes, that's exactly it. And so the comparison to Civil War is like, okay, it didn't dive into the politics, but the responsibility it assumed was to say, this is what war is going to look like when it is right here at your doorstep. And I felt that because again, it's told through the lens of the photojournalist, it meets that moment and it achieves that goal. One battle after another is just so fucking watered down. Now, I'm not going to get into this. I will tell our two people watching this, go watch Other People. And I'll encourage you to go find those creators.
I'm gonna watch Civil War, right?
But again, based on what the subject matter is, Paul Thomas Anderson was not the director for that movie. Old white dude.
Oh, that's interesting.
An old white dude should probably is not the right person to be telling a very complex black drama. Now, I'm not saying he can't do that. I'm just saying that was something that I unconsciously was picking up on. And since I did look at I did start looking at some other critiques and reviews from Black voices.
Right.
They very plainly pointed out how badly the black characters are caricaturized, and how much that falls short.
But that's the same thing with the right wing characters. It will be another movie if Spike Lee directed it.
Yes.
But it's not a comedy anymore. Tarantino was addressing that. Spike Lee didn't like the use of the word, the N word in Django. Well,
and I think you actually raised a good point there. I think Tarantino would have also been like another white guy, but I think he can make the bold in-your-face movie that's not going to pull any punches while also having comedic moments in it. I would have loved to see either version of One Battle After Another that was either the Tarantino version or Spike Lee version.
Yeah, I don't like Spike Lee.
And I think it would have been a superior version. I think the budget worked against it because I think it just ended up watering everything down. It's
a good point, the budget.
I wanted a movie that said something, and in the end, it didn't say anything. But that doesn't change the fact that it is a genuinely good film.
Yeah.
But it's just a popcorn film, which is why I call it the MCU film. For me, there was very little substance to it. There's filmmaking substance. There's some great the parallels and how it was directed and, you know, how the story unfolds. But in terms of the story itself and what the story says, it's all so fucking surface that I watched it a second time for this conversation. I'm not going to watch that movie again. I don't care. It's not doing anything for me. What about you? Would you watch it again?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watch it again. I'm trying to stay away from it for a while, but yeah, it's not the same level of There Will Be Blood. I see There Will Be Blood, and then One Barrel After Another, and then Punch Drunk Love that I really like, Magnolia and the other stuff.
Yeah,
it's a very great director. I want to share an experience that I had when I was studying filmmaking. Once we went to a seminar. It was Alex de la Iglesia, a Spanish filmmaker, directed El Día de la Bestia, The Day of the Beast. That movie made a lot of money, and he wrote a script for Doom. I'm talking like in the early 2000s, and he spoke to Frank Marshall or whatever, a big producer in Hollywood, who was trying to sell the script and make the movie. And he told us, I had the script for Doom, and I went to a meeting with the Warner Brothers or whatever, and they said, okay, how much is going to cost this? And Alex de la Iglesia said, like 50 millions. And they said, no, you have 150 millions. And he said, no, I don't need that much. Yes, you do. And you have to tone it down, because this is for X-rated version of Doom. We need to make it PG in order to get that amount of money. So you have to make changes of the script. And he said, fuck that. And they finally made Doom with The Rock. And it was bullshit. But they still get away with it because they recovered the money. Alex de la Iglesia wasn't playing by those guys' rules. And he made sacrifices. But the point is that the big movie producers are necessary evil in order to make the movie. Taking all that into the consideration, I think Paul Thomas Anderson made a beautiful job with a big budget and get away with it because he had a very curriculum vitae on his back, you know.
Yeah, man. Did you see the new Supergirl trailer?
Yeah, I did. And I'm excited. Just because of Lobo.
Lobo looks great.
I'm excited.
They John Wicked it. The whole movie is about her.
Man, yeah, you're right.
About her finding the antidote for fucking Krypto, the poison that was given to Krypto. Is like, I fucking lost it. I was like, oh, you just introduced Krypto. He is like the best part of Superman. He was the through line to Supergirl, and oh my god. You're putting him at death's door here? How fucking dare you, James Gunn?
You didn't like it?
Oh, I mean, it's gonna be phenomenal. It adds an emotional layer to this movie that was completely unexpected, and just like just that story point in the trailer just fucking wrecked me. I was like, nope. Can't do this. No, don't do this.
Oh
to
man,
Krypto.
yeah, you have a sweet spot for animals.
Yes.
I'm a brute in that way. Like I was raised kind of in a barn. Sure. Like animals were a resource. I had a pet goat when I was little, and we play around. And I think he fucking hate my guts because he always pushes me around. But I love that. It was entertainment. One time, my father just picked him up and just fucking killed him in front of me. Like, this is today's dinner, and we're having goat tonight. And I think that disconnect my brain. Like, okay, these animals exist, so we can eat them.
That's not why animals exist. No.
I know, but in an
As a
emotional level.
kid, yeah, you learn.
As a kid, it broke something there. I'm not saying that I'm right, and
Yeah. No, I
that
gotcha.
is
I
right.
gotcha. Yeah.
I'm fucked up, man, and so that's my point. So, but I can it's a script resource. It's a resource for the script. It's
Yes.
an emotional. It's a powerful. My wife has 2 dogs, and they're part of the fucking family. They
Absolutely.
eat better than myself, But I understand that. I'm not a psychopath. I
Right.
understand.
It was funny because like that we knew Krypto was going to be a part of it, right? But like they never
Yeah.
indicated like that was a twist that Krypto's life is hanging in the balance that and
Was on the
of
line.
course we know like there's no way they're going to kill the dog. They're not which of course there's no way that's going to happen. Krypto
Yeah,
will
it's not
survive.
full John Wick.
But
It's
good
enough. Right.
lord. Like with all of the elements and everything I've seen about the movie and the storyline, it's like, oh, why did you have to throw that detail in there? Like, why can't he just be the scrappy sidekick in the movie? Why do you gotta put his life in danger?
Well, you know what? I like this so much that it's not gonna be. But this is we have differences, you and I, like when we approach movies, and I didn't like Crypto in the best part of Superman. I thought it was kind of annoying.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
And I'm super glad that is actually becoming like save this fucking life. Like in the Hangover, you don't see the boring guy who is going to marry.
Right. Yeah.
Right? It's about something else. And the other thing that really struck me when watching the trailer was the creative environment. They didn't use cliche like Guardians of the Galaxy or Star Wars bullshit. They really went to the comics. I'm not a hardcore comic fan, but I really like Lobo. And I think they had a lot of inspiration of the A Contract of God, and they had this weird setup like the canteen and the neon lights, but out of this place, like out of time. And I love that setup in this trailer. I loved it.
I loved playing fetch in space. That was It was a very quick shot, but that was just so very imaginative, very lovely. But you mentioned Superman, and it's like, oh yeah, so basically Krypto is Supergirl's MacGuffin, and yes, there is going to be another component with the other female character in the female lead in the movie.
Right, yeah,
that's the other that's the key storyline. But like Krypto's the antidote for Krypto is like Supergirl's MacGuffin throughout this movie, and I just realized like, oh, that was still Krypto's role in Superman too. He was
the same
kidnapped. Yeah, he was just like, we got to save Krypto. It would have been. I think it would have been more interesting to see Krypto as her companion, as her dog, versus relegating him to the MacGuffin and John Wicking the situation. We'll see how it plays out. I have way higher hopes for Supergirl than I did for Superman. And it's also really weird because James Gunn isn't directing. He did not write or direct Supergirl. But Supergirl is the one that actually aligns with his style. Superman was way too fucking mainstream for James Gunn. That's like he is a bad director for that movie.
He was the only one who could make that movie. Yeah. I'm worried. I'm just worried about Lobo, because in this trailer was like watered down a little. He's not a bad guy in this trailer. And to me, Lobo is the guy who is not accepted in heaven or hell. He's just a fucking badass. I don't see any movie working with that premise, with that protagonist. Have you seen the Paramilitary Christmas short film?
Paramilitary Christmas. No.
Yeah, it's a comic where Lobo has to
Oh,
kill
okay.
the Easter Bunny. They made a short film out of it. And in the 90s, I think Lobo was played by a guy who played the son of Shrek. Shrek, not the ogre, the Shrek guy, the business guy of Batman Returns, the Christopher Walken character. And he made a pretty good performance. And the short film is actually he had a lot of production value. It looks good. The story is shit, and I think the character of Lobo works only in comic, and I don't see any studio having the guts to make a film that uncompromising. That maybe in the 80s, but not today.
Yeah,
I don't see that flying today.
it's kind of unfortunate because we know James Gunn and all of this is of course like who knows what's actually going to happen with DCU right now.
Yeah, maybe a bullshit
But
series of fucking
you
nine
know,
seasons of Krypto.
well, just because of the buyout, because of the right
Yeah,
wing Ellison buyout. But
right,
what's
right.
interesting is that we know James Gunn was open. First of all, again, like watch Peacemaker. Not to harp on one battle after another, but
That's
Peacemaker
interesting.
season 1 and 2 talking about same subject matter, meeting the moment. I just
Right,
watched
right.
an episode of the new Daredevil season. The again coming out of Disney, very surprising. But these are shows meeting the moment for like this is the story of Kingpin becoming the mayor of New York and creating
Hmm.
the anti-vigilante task force, and like it's the like they produced this before the ICE raids got so intense here in the
Right.
States, and yet it
Hmm.
meets the moment. It is rising. This is a piece of media that's rising up and meeting the moment, and assuming the responsibility of meeting this moment, and it's fantastic for it.
Yeah, yeah.
So what's interesting is, James Gunn isn't
I love
averse.
to be wrong.
James Gunn isn't averse to his animated shows. Creature Commandos were fantastic. Also, Creature Commandos with if you haven't
Haven't
watched it
seen
yet,
it.
you have to watch it. James Gunn
It's a great guy.
loves punching Nazis, and I love that he loves punching Nazis, and they do it so well.
Right.
I think James Gunn could have produced a fucking awesome Lobo animated show, or feature film as an animated,
Yeah.
and he would have
Yeah.
had the runway to do what you're saying, which was go all out and really embrace the rawness
Right.
of that character. And because I agree with you,
I,
I think they're gonna be sanding him down and rounding the edges. That was the impression I got from the trailer.
the only thing that Lobo has a sweet spot for is dolphins. Nothing more.
Okay.
Just dolphins. But for whatever reason, I don't know if you're familiar with the comic, but he fucking murdered his entire race to be the only one. He's ruthless,
Mm-hmm.
nonsensical, and he's like a perfect character to James Gunn. And I only see James Gunn like super. You have a fascist superhero,
Mm-hmm.
and he made it work. Not you can't cannot relate with Dwight with superpowers,
Mm-hmm.
but Lobo is kind of the antithesis of superhero. So I don't know. I'm very curious about it.
Yeah. Watch how he ends up being like in 10 or 15 minutes of the movie after all of this build up and hype of Jason Momoa finally becoming Lobo, and it's like
Yeah.
it could have been a character that was just cut out completely because it was so irrelevant to the story.
Right.
We'll see.
Right.
That's not my prediction.
We'll see. Yeah,
but,
we'll
but
see.
it'll be hilarious if that's how it plays out.
I'm watching Game of Thrones again, so I'm very fond of Jason Momoa.
Okay.
It's great because after the Aquaman I don't fucking stand that character, Aquaman.
I will say the first Aquaman movie, if there's one that you should watch, that's the one. And you have to go into it. Dude, it has a drumming octopus. There's an octopus that plays the drum in that movie. Like, it embraces the fact that this whole fucking thing is ridiculous. That first movie. The second movie, I don't even remember if I watched it or not, but the first one, it knows it's a dumb movie. And
is it memorable? Like, you can remember the plot of Aquaman?
Vaguely.
You see what the face you did?
But it's been a while. Come on, man.
It's a fucking movie. Man, dude, I can remember Citizen Kane plot like on the palm of my hand.
Dude.
And it's a fucking 100 years old.
I categorically hate what Zack Snyder did to DC. And I am sitting here defending one movie, and that's the first Aquaman. I kind of enjoyed. I did kind of enjoy the original Man of Steel. Okay. It was decent, but
yeah, I kind of did, dude.
Overall, I'm not a fan of Zack Snyder. I really hated what happened with it.
Yeah,
but like, it says something that the stupidest movie of the entire franchise, Aquaman, like, because it leaned into it, that it understood it was dumb. It understood the assignment. Dude, it's a good late night stoner movie.
Okay, I'll buy that. Are we gonna talk Anaconda?
We are not gonna.
Notes of
I know, and I appreciate that so much. I watched Anaconda. I watched the original Anaconda. I watched Bowfinger. So I am prepped, but we are not going to do any of those. We got to save it for next week, man.
I'm gonna give you a preview of my last note of Anaconda. Fuck you, Crumbine. That was my last note.
I told you.
Just when we entered the third act. And yeah, we're gonna leave it to the next one.
I told you.
So but again,
but the point was Bowfinger from 1999.
The first scene, you can see that this is a quality movie.
I watched it.
The lighting of the take.
And
this is quality movie.
It makes you.
And I hate Steve Martin.
And we even said, like, oh, Frank Oz, he's a Spielbergian director in that he gets the job done. But like, dude,
and dated,
you fucking appreciate Frank Oz directing Bowfinger.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it more next week. But yes. I watched Bowfinger last night. This is what I love about movies. It unlocked something. I had such an idea for a script. For my indie producer friend, he's been saying he was into the short story I wrote called Florida Girls, which is about a young girl in the Florida wilderness who comes across a female skunk ape, which is Florida's version of Bigfoot, and a gator, a female gator. And there's it's a short story of just like the battle between like the skunk ape and the gator, and then the girl is kind of like in the middle of it, caught up in the middle of it.
No, that's interesting.
And my filmmaker
so creative,
friend, and my filmmaker friend is like, this story has stuck with him, and he's been interested in it. And it was like, it's kind of bubbled up as to a potential next feature film project. And I watched Bowfinger, and I was like, oh, we could do this as a movie in a movie. It can be a movie about these characters trying to make the Florida Girls short film or something. And it was like, the possibilities just bloomed.
Yeah.
And it was like, yes, it would be very much like Anaconda, but also the Florida version. And there's nothing wrong with that, because I can take the bones of that and do it well. I can write a script that actually works and makes sense. So we will talk all about that next week, because I think there's a lot to talk about there.
I'm fighting not to say anything, because I think there's so many... Anaconda is not even a precedent. It's just a funny thing that happened. But you got even King Kong with Jack Black or Ed Wood or Napoleon Dynamite. There's so many fucking movies about movies making a movie.
Brigsby Bear. If you want, like, this is a top 5 film of mine, Brigsby Bear.
Fucking yeah.
I kind of was like, oh yeah, it's a movie about making a movie. So Bowfinger was very formative. It was a very, very fucking formative film for me. Okay, we need to call it there.
I think this is better than last week. I can stand up right now. That says a lot.
Yes, it does say a lot.